Of course, this is where we welcome you to She Speaks for yet another day. It is our second show for the year 2024. So yes, man, I am very excited that we've had quite a diverse. We already started off on quite a diverse note, and I think this is remarkable. We've got to pay homage to our sponsors, our partners, I like to call them, because they understand the vision as well, and they have decided they're going to commit to it, and we appreciate them for that. That is Court St. Lucia and the First National Bank. We take a word from them. When we come back, we are definitely going to be starting our conversation. Of course, before we do that, we'd like to remind you that we are live. We are live via, we are trending on our frequency. Our app is up and running. Our frequency remains 101.1 across the board. If you're down in the south, you can now pick us up loud and clear, and we're happy for that. You can always, if you want to get a little bit up close and personal with it, you can always hop on to our lives, which is streaming via our Facebook page at the official page of Radio Caribbean, and also via our YouTube page. All right, so we take a word, like I said, from our partners, and we will be right back.
Well, that was easy. Get everything you need in one place. Great deals, best prices. At Quartz, you can find easy-to-use appliances and electronics, plus effortless furniture for every home at unbeatable prices. So get what you want now, pay now, or later with Ready Finance. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Promotion ends January 23rd, 2024.
First National Bank says get the home you've always wanted with zero down. That's right, as we celebrate more than 85 years of being here for you as the first indigenous bank, we're giving 85 individuals 100% financing to achieve their dream of home ownership. This is possibly the most important decision you'll ever make. 100% financing for your dream home. Call or come into First National Bank today and ask about our zero down payment 100% financing for mortgages. First National Bank, here for you.
Wonderful. All right. Well, guess what now? We are certainly ready to kick our conversation off. Be very generous with us. And if you hop on any of our live, share it up. At the end of the day, this is how, listen, we all have got to make some sort of contribution. Let's all put our shoulders to the wheel and make the thing work. That's one of the things that we need to improve on as a Caribbean people. But that being said, thank you for those who share it, those who are going to be sharing it. But it's time for our conversation. Like I mentioned, we've got the amazing Nathalie John. Nathalie John is a St. Lucian. She is back on the island, but all of that is going to be discussed this morning, and I will definitely now give her the opportunity to be able to share her story and her journey with us. Nats, good morning, and thank you for being our second guest.
Good morning, Mareen, and thank you for having me and being the second one. Yeah, that's great. Happy New Year to everyone.
Wonderful. Now, Nats, we come in there in a while because you are quite a powerhouse on the entrepreneur scene.
Thank you.
And we come in there in a minute, but we want to get a sense of the groundedness, because I mentioned you're Lucian, so certainly you were born here, birthed here. Where were you born? What was growing up like?
Okay, I was born in Castries in Ravin Chabot to entrepreneurial parents. My mom, Teresa John Majon, she had a boutique on Brazil Street. My dad was from Labrie, Nathaniel Nepsiel, Nat and Associates, so he was into furniture manufacturing and so forth. So I normally say entrepreneurship is in my blood, just by my parents. But my mom, I attribute my success and who I am today to my mom. Was very tough in growing up. The grades had to be good, but at the same time, discipline. Saturday, I remember weekends, you have to stay home because you have to clean up. And when you come back, she comes back from the store. She wants to make sure you did everything right and so forth. But at a very early age, she did something for me that at the time I didn't know and I didn't appreciate. But as I got older, I appreciated very, very much. Where that she had her store, and rather than me with my friends going out maybe on weekends to the beach or what have you, I always had to come to the store. I had to be the cashier. Then she was selling sweets and stuff outside, so I'd have to be outside with the tray. And it wasn't fun. I didn't think I didn't think it was fun at all, you know. But years later, I realized that that was my foundation to who I am today, and I can't thank her enough, because I remember being at SJC. And when everybody's talking about all the niceties of what they want and so forth, I'm saying I'm the CFO of my mom's boutique and restaurant. You know, I'm talking about bills, and, you know, I want my own home by the time I'm 23. And, you know, I had so many manifestations at that time that were not kid-like, I would say. And then I also think my family situation, I'm the last of my mom's 6 girls, but I'm also 10 years younger than my last sister. So I
You're really the baby.
Yes, I'm the baby. But I always grew up too, if, you know, my friends, my sister's friends were, you know, my friends, if they're going out, they take
you were
me
ahead
along.
of your time,
So
basically.
yes.
Right.
So you know, all of that. But really is my mom's training, I would say, at that early age, that set me on this path to where I am today.
Wonderful. Well, that's that. We'll take a word now from our partners, and then we're coming back, and there's an extension in where we have to delve in on the professional scene. So
Correct.
we're coming back, and we're definitely going to be tapping into that. Gits, you Uncut, big up, and also Jonathan Gerard, thank you, and everybody else who is trending and viewing or listening at this time. Courts and the First National Bank, a word from them. We'll be back.
See me soar in 2024. Be seen wearing the best and latest styles in eyewear from Courts Optical. Buy one frame and get a second pair for free. Mix and match with your favorite brands. A variety of colors and fresh new styles. Buy one frame and get a second pair absolutely free. Shop today with no cash and pay later. Schedule your free eye exam today at courtsoptical.com. Soar into 2024 with BOGO. Only at Courts Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. Offer valid until January 31st, 2024. See in store for details.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Listen, I'm just realizing we have to have a whole other conversation on a whole other subject, but we wouldn't have enough time to discuss that part, so I'm going to stay away from this one. Clear? Let's talk about your entry into. You are the proprietor, you're the owner, you're the everything at Dreamy
Group.
Dreamy Group.
Yeah.
Right. So the group consists
Represents
of a lot of little tiers under that umbrella house, a lot of things.
Correct.
But they're all related, really.
They all related.
Right. Let's talk about your journey in the professional world. You have not always been an entrepreneur.
No,
Okay.
no, I haven't.
Yes, but no.
Yes and no. So I really started my professional career as a young woman at the St. Lucia Development Bank.
Right.
And again, going to the SLDB at a time when Mr. George Theophilus was the managing director. Very stern.
Is that Lon's dad?
The Lon's dad,
Okay.
correct, yes. Very strict, very stern, but also somebody who instilled discipline
Right.
at a very young age. I left there and then I went to study. I studied in Canada. I studied finance and marketing. Then when I came back home, I got a job at the Ministry of Trade, which is now the Ministry of Commerce. And so I would say to any young person who's back from university, you know, government, if you could start your career at government, it teaches you, it's a very valuable place to start. And it was a beautiful time for me. I was the marketing specialist. There I had launched with my team, launched the Buy Local campaign. So I was always into doing as much as possible to help entrepreneurs to succeed.
Right.
I left there and I went to the central bank in St. Kitts, and so that's how I got into St. Kitts.
Right.
And I worked with the Financial Enterprise Development Unit. So again, all entrepreneurship. I spent 3 years there, and then our unit birthed the stock exchange, the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange. I became their very first employee. But during that time, when I had moved to St. Kitts, I guess moving from what I would say a bigger island, 238 square miles, to a smaller island, 68 square miles.
Right.
The transition was a little difficult at the beginning. And so I managed, I would say, to get into something that I say it's divine intervention, because while I was in St. Kitts, I got an email at the time from someone asking information about St. Lucia and wanting to renew their vows in St. Lucia. So I answered that email, but at the end I was curious and I said, P.S., how did you get my email address? Because the internet was just starting up.
Right.
And I mean, it wasn't something that I knew the person, or they said, Mareen referred me,
Right.
that kind of thing. And so we went ahead and for Mareen.
Oh my! Listen, we come into that in a minute. Go ahead with the music. No. Hold on. Oh God, I'm holding it. You can continue, darling.
And then and so I answered him a long story. We continued corresponding, and then I said somewhere along the lines, would you like me to put together a package for you?
Look at you.
Of course, he says. He says yes, and I'm like, at that time,
Did you know anything about that?
Absolutely
So what
nothing.
prompted you to ask the man that?
entrepreneur in me. So at that time, I'm like, okay, I'm traveling for the next 2 weeks, so I'll get back to you in 2 weeks.
That was buying time to try to figure this out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Call my mother and like, Mom, you have to help me. I'll put myself, in this
Wow.
situation and stuff. And, she's always there, ready. And then I called a friend of mine, Stephen, who was a taxi. And I called Gregory Lord, who was a friend. And everybody came together for me. We put this wedding renewal of vows. We had it at Pigeon Island. I was still in St. Kitts. Remember, I'm not here. I'm in St. Kitts. Everything went off beautifully. My mom got Andrea Goose Foster, who had done their wedding 10 years prior in St. Lucia, to come and do their vow renewal. So it was a pleasant surprise for them.
Wow.
And they wrote me back saying, oh my God, your mom is wonderful. Everybody, Stephen is beautiful and everything is great. And we want to write you a beautiful testimonial for your next couple. I'm like, and then I paid everybody, and I think I had something like maybe 100 US there, about 300 EC left back.
Right.
And I thought, but this wasn't bad. I didn't feel I did any work,
Anywhere.
right? And so, that's how I say my journey started with Dreamy Wedding. So it found me, I didn't find it. So I say divine intervention. After that.
But also speaks to the person in you, the characterism, because you're a go-getter, man. There's no limitation on that there. You ain't done nothing about this, but here you are saying you want me to put something together for you. So it speaks to, this is quite a powerful testimony there in the fact that, sometimes you need to just
you need to take
Don't
a
limit
chance
yourself.
on you.
Take
You
a
need to take a
chance on
chance
you.
on
That
you.
is it.
If you're not going to take a chance on you,
Who
who
will?
do you expect to take a chance on you?
Wow. So fast forward to where we are now, because you started off St. Kitts.
Correct. And
what
so,
was the next move?
The next move, I did weddings, destination weddings. I got Windjammer Barefoot Cruise was my first big break.
Okay.
They wanted me to service 5 destinations. So my training, I would say, from Ministry of Trade and Commerce here, I used to travel around the region, and my personality too, I make friends really well.
Nice.
So reached out, did the same thing that I did. I got that. They tried my services, and after that,
it spoke for itself.
It spoke for itself. Then 2009 or 2007 came along, and Royal Caribbean came knocking. And wanted more destinations. In fact, they wanted us to service the entire Caribbean for them.
Wow.
And so got that
How
opportunity.
tasking is this, though? And not that I should be asking you that, because you don't limit yourself. But
I don't limit
from
myself.
the normal man listening or woman listening, they would think that's a lot. How does she manage this? I mean, this is a lot.
I never see things as a lot. My mom says I am the type of person who sees life with no boundaries. So I don't think
clearly.
of the problems. When I get there, I'll solve it. But I will not sit down there and just think. Of course, when I did Dreamy Weddings, after that first client, I went and I researched the industry. I put
Awesome.
together a business plan and things of that nature. But once you've done all of that, then you have to have a succeeding and a winning mindset. Failure is going to come. So don't think that I haven't had failure. Very
Just don't
early.
you don't focus on them.
I don't. Very early, I remember, my dad almost put me out there to sink, where I came back and I remember from university seeing Kimlands and everybody's after Kimlands and the ice cream and so forth.
Yes.
And I felt, that's not a bad idea. There's only one machine. I wanted to do the same thing. And he says, Nathalie, $1. I'm not interested in that type of business. You'll never get rich. I'm like, but Dad, one full of basket, right?
Right.
And my mom is always the supportive one. And she says, well, if you want to do it, check with your dad and stuff. And he's like, no. So my dad friend worked at the bank, at Barclays Bank. I went to him and I said, I want a loan. I got all the information. I bought the machine. I shipped the machine. They gave me the loan. I guess they knew who my dad was. They helped me out, right? But guess what? When the machine came here, the machine is 3-phase electricity. I knew nothing about single phase, nothing about three phase. And so that was my first hiccup where I didn't do all the necessary research. Long story on that. That is itself is another story in terms of failure.
Right.
So I ended up having to get more money from a loan perspective. Then I got the job at the Ministry of Commerce, and so I had to get somebody to do the sales of the ice cream, because I used to go and sit down there myself and sell my ice cream, right? And then my mom said a day, she said, Nathalie, something is wrong. You were selling X amount every day, and now you're not even selling half of that. And I'm like, Mom, you always there. You want to judge people, because the person who was selling for me at the time was somebody we really knew. A lot for me was family.
Yeah, poor job.
And then a day, I went to Lyra's, and one of the ladies there, she said, "Oh, y'all finish your cones early today?" And I'm like, "Finish cones? No, we still have a case of cones there."
Right.
And then I'm like, oh my God, don't tell me what my mom was saying was true. So I went back and I said, we'll use Mareen. I said, Mareen, you bought ice cream cones today at Lyra? And she says, she looks at me. So I went inside of the store, and I'm seeing we have this case of ice cream cones still there. But what was happening, she would come in the morning, go buy her cones by Lyra, sell the quantity of cones she wants to sell for herself for the day.
I'll tell you the other side. Oh boy, that was brilliant. Well, you had to give it an A for brilliance. Yeah. Oh man, that's not nice.
So of course, these are lessons that you learn along the way, and
you've had to overcome as
and
well.
And you've had to overcome them.
Like you said, a lot of this now going to have to come down to you actually, designating
and
you
stuff.
have to have people that's
you
on the same page with
correct.
you.
You have to take a chance as well. And yes, I had to fire her, and then I just didn't have the confidence again, so I had to pack up the machine. But I have now this big loan that I had to pay and take that responsibility. Thankfully, I was getting a salary from trade, so I ended up doing that. And then when I got the job in St. Kitts, I was able to do much better eventually to pay off
that loan.
And pay off that loan.
Even then, that's up on looking a big woman saying now you still have to pay an ice cream machine loan that you weren't selling ice cream
that
for.
I wasn't selling ice cream for.
That could have broken you. If you weren't a strong person.
If I wasn't strong, but no, I just figure it is a failure. But I learned from it, so I'm not gonna do that in my next venture.
Very well.
And so Dreamy Weddings led me to open Dreamy Floral and Decor Bar. So we went into full event planning, because Dreamy Weddings is only destination weddings, so we don't do any local weddings at all.
Right.
And then after that, we did that really well in St. Kitts. So we florals as well as design. And then we went into rentals.
Speak to the floral link to it, because of course weddings, flowers,
correct.
You need that.
Certainly.
So what made you decide I want to get my own flowers now? Because was there a
there
void?
was there was a void. So we had a florist that we used, and we used to have problems, and I almost lost my contract with Royal Caribbean because of a vendor who did not provide what it is that the client wanted.
Oh, no.
And so
Take matters
again,
into your own
hands. I had to rush to Miami to have a meeting And then I figured, you know what, maybe it's time. I had somebody who was into florals, who had been saying, hey, Nathalie, let's go into business, let's do this. But I felt at the time, I have florists here, so I don't need to. But that led me to say, you know what, no. Okay. And then I actually went to that individual years later when I started florals, and say, I am coming into the market.
Yes.
And so I just want you to know and to hear it from me personally.
Yes.
I'm hoping that even if we are competing, but we could still do that in a cordial manner. If there's anything I can do to assist, or you to me, then, fine.
I want to stop there for a bit. Can we stop there for a bit? Because that is sometimes when I think about entrepreneurship and I think about getting into it, there's certain ideas I will getting, but it is people that I am actually, people that I actually am close to. I feel that, I've been with them for a while and they're actually in the same environment, and I'm feeling guilty, and I'm feeling like it sort of keeping myself back.
Correct.
How do you talk to me there? Because I'm not the only one, and
Correct.
a lot of people keep themselves in this state of not growth because of that.
I think it's how you approach it. Right? I remember when I coming back home now and opening Dreamy Florals here, a friend of mine said, but Nathalie, they have so many flower shops. Why you want to open a flower shop?
Yeah.
And I said to him, but there are so many restaurants in St. Lucia, but more people are opening restaurants and they are not closing down, right? And I said, I feel I'm bringing something different to the market. And then there was a florist here. When I started in St. Kitts, I had called, to ask information about the industry and so forth. And I knew I was coming to compete with him here. And I called him. I called him and I said to him, I'm coming back home, and that's what I do in St. Kitts, and I will be opening a floral store. However, the relationship I have in St. Kitts with my other florists is that we share. So if I have flowers and you don't have, but you have a job, you could come to me. We're not selling flowers, but you will take from my stock. When you get your stock, you will then replenish and so forth.
What was it? Was it always an easy thing to get them to buy into that? The human nature is a bit.
For me, I prefer to look at it from my story, how you receive it and how you take it.
That's on you.
That's
okay.
on you.
All right, good.
But once I know that I have given you that opportunity, and
genuine.
I always say as adults, we could agree to disagree. So even at my opening here, my launch, I invited lots of other persons within the industry that actually are within my industry. And some of them have since come to my business and they are patronizing and so forth.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
So I say, if you have something like that and you want to do it, don't do it on a side so that the person feels, Mareen, go and do this. Be upfront. Tell the person, and especially if it's a skill that you have, be genuine. Because the other thing that we don't realize is that you don't want every business. Because now wellness is important and so forth. So even for me, before Dreamy Weddings, we would have done like 300 weddings a year, right? I don't want to do 300 weddings a year anymore. I want to do less weddings. And so we all at different phases and different spaces.
Right. So there's room for everyone.
So there's room for everybody at the end of the day. And I also built a non-profit during COVID called CWEB, Caribbean Weddings and Events Professional. And really for me, what I want to share there is that there is community in competition.
Right.
Right?
I like that.
We always
I like
feel
that. You need to text me this. That's community in
competition.
Right.
Because we always feel that, if you compete with the person that it's, it's supposed to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's not. Because say, for example, somebody comes to me and they want, say, 1,000 roses. I don't have that. But I want to be able to call up any of the other floral stores and say, hey,
I need some extra roses.
I need some extra roses, right? And then it means I'm taking from you, and it's a big sale. So I'm either buying them from you, or I'm going to replace them and so forth. So I think it's, again, your mindset. How do you think? And if we want
community in competition.
There
I like
is
this.
community in competition.
I like this. Absolutely love this. 13 destinations now.
13 destinations.
What's the plans, the hopes? You plan to extend even further? Or you said you don't want to do 300 weddings no more. So
no.
What is the plan right now to really solidify your place even further in the market? What sort of what is the legacy you want to leave under that brand?
Okay, so for me, actually, it's interesting that you're asking that question. because it's something that I've been thinking of for a while. And I'm at a stage now where I want to divorce Nathalie, the personal, from Brand Dreamy, so that Brand Dreamy can exist outside of Nathalie. So when
right now
Nathalie
you're all into it. Yeah.
So I'm all into it, but I have really good teams both in St. Kitts and in St. Lucia. But I want the persons that are with me to know that they can grow with the organization and get to that stage where they could be a manager of a certain division or CEO to replace me completely. Because Nathalie now in this other phase of me, I want to do mentorship.
Okay.
I want to focus on leadership and training. So all that I have amassed, so many times I see we go overseas and we participate in conferences, but we don't get to ask the burning questions.
That's right.
We do things within, okay, so it's a floral course and you learn how to do florals. But the business of being in a business, the business of being successful, right? Nobody's teaching you that. So I want to go into that space where you could come to my 3-day training. You will have 1 or 2 days of theory where I'll bring like-minded people to tell you what you need to do. Because for me, I have been successful for the last 24 years. I've survived 9/11. I've survived the financial crisis. I've survived COVID.
Absolutely.
And we still going, you know. And so a lot of businesses do not have that. And while somebody may be talented in their own space, how to run a successful business is not something that is taught.
That's right.
So for me, that's my next phase of development, to be able to
Absolutely
share.
love it. Listen, if you're not on the live, you're missing out. I got my bouquet, and it's a beautiful one as always. Natalie does some amazing stuff here at you're located right by the Harbour Club.
At Harbour Club.
And boy, that cascading rose thing does just beat me. If I don't get one of that for my birthday, somebody in problems. I mean, it's just so beautiful.
And before your birthday, Valentine's is coming up. So
I'm not too big on the Valentine's thing, but you have a lot of people that big on it.
But this year in particular, because this is our first Valentine's.
But that will be huge for you.
Yeah.
I hope you're ready, because it's going to go all the way out.
But I tell people, it's not just about Valentine for lovers. I want Valentine's to be about love.
Love in general.
Love in general. So
Right.
you love somebody has been good to you, somebody has
Right.
been nice to you. You may not want to send them red roses, but why you gotta send them yellow roses
True
or
that.
pink roses?
You know
or
what you
something?
need to do too? You probably need to do have one of your days or one of your online session where you teach the different colors rose, what it means.
What it means,
Yeah.
correct?
A lot
Yes,
of- yeah,
yes.
I think, yeah. Yep. I saw the people say you can't give men, and I popped into your shop one day, and a young lady was there, and she picked up a wonderful bouquet for her man, and it was like black roses, and it was beautiful. Some people say man don't want flowers, man want flowers.
They do.
They do. That's before you go. We got 1 minute left. Just throw out. Well, you've given so many pointers of inspiration and motivation already. But just in wrapping, anything you figure you want to share with somebody that might help to really, really drive the point home.
I think first and foremost, I think the generation that we live in now is such a beautiful time. Because people are about sharing and giving and trying. And so if you're not in, Generation X or what have you, and you a little older, take a chance on yourself. And it's a new year. If it's something that you've been thinking about for a while, try it. And a lot of times I say to persons who have a support system, whether it's a husband and wife team or you have good family support, try it. Of course, you have to do the necessary research and so forth, but go at it. Look to other people in other destinations who are actually doing it. But most importantly, do it with a level of professionalism. If you're going to take your time to do it, I always say, if you're not going to do it well, then forget about it.
Yeah,
Don't,
that's my motto as well.
Don't do it at all, and have faith in you. And even if you're going through a hard time, so yes, people see me and say, you're always so bright and so forth. Of course, I have my down days and so forth. But I think if you believe in a higher power, and you truly believe in that, he will take you out from your darkest moments, whenever that time is. And you just have to have that own personal belief. So that's what I want to share with persons.
I love it. You've been awesome. You see why we thank you so much. It was only a matter of time. Nats, you are amazing. Dreamy Flores, That's the one by Harbour Club.
At Harbour Club,
It's
yes.
Dreamy Florist. So you
Yes.
guys could go check it out. It's on Instagram.
We're on Instagram
Right.
at St. Lucia Florist, so STFLORIST. So we have all of our Valentine's specials are already out. We have our website, which is Saint Lucia, SAINT, LuciaFlorist.com. So make sure you go and you like it. And yeah. So
Absolutely.
thank
You're
you.
amazing again. Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
we look forward to
Mareen.
so much more.
Thanks for having
you
me.
You are certainly an inspiration. No, man, we had to have had you. Tadia said, good going, Nat.
Thanks, Daddy.
Wonderful. So that's it for our show. Of course, don't forget to tune in again tomorrow. No, next Tuesday, when we'll have another show here. We'll have another amazing St. Lucian woman with her story, with the hope of inspiring every single one of you, or maybe just one. If we inspired one person today, then we'd have accomplished our goal. All right. Thank you again to Courts and the Bank of St. Lucia. Hyper Day is coming up next, and I'll be back at 2 o'clock. Bye now.
Well, that was easy. Get everything you need in one place. Great deals, best prices. At Courts, you can find easy-to-use appliances and electronics, plus effortless furniture for every home at unbeatable prices. So get what you want now, pay now, or later with Ready Finance. Only at Courts, bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Promotion ends January 23rd, 2024.
First National Bank says get the home you've always wanted with zero down. That's right, as we celebrate more than 85 years of being here for you as the first indigenous bank, we're giving 85 individuals 100% financing to achieve their dream of home ownership. This is possibly the most important decision you'll ever make. 100% financing for your dream home. Call or come into First National Bank today and ask about our zero down payment 100% financing for mortgages. First National Bank, here for you.
It's time to save. Access at the Baywalk Mall in Rodney Bay is having a 50% off sale store-wide. That's right, 50% off at the Baywalk Mall, Rodney Bay on all ladies' clothing and accessories. Hey, don't forget the kids. 50% off on all toys, school products, and baby supplies. That's right, 50% off. Now's the time to shop and save with Christmas